UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Westwood for UCLA Bruin Talk. I'm Dave Marcus, joined as always by Naomi Manea. UCLA's athletic motto is Champions Made Here, and 2011 was no exception. We'll talk individual and team championships on this edition of Bruin Talk.
Before we meet our first guests, let's take a look at this week's upcoming events.
UCLA women's gymnastics is always a powerhouse. This year, the team finished just short of the national title, losing in a very close one to Alabama. But the Bruins did take home an individual championship, and we're pleased to be joined by Samantha Peszek, who won the NCAA beam, and also assistant head coach Chris Waller. Samantha, let's talk about your season. What a remarkable story. When this year began, you were out with a broken foot, and you ended up first in the NCAA. Tell us the feeling of that odyssey.
When I, first broke my foot, I was devastated. I had high aspirations for the season, for our team, for me as an individual athlete. And right after that happened, just a couple weeks before season, I just thought that it was over and that I didn't even have a chance, but I worked really hard. And so right when it healed, I was back to normal, and I was even in better shape than I was before I broke my foot. So it was really easy to, assimilate back into the team and into the competitive environment. So I worked really hard on beam, especially. It's my favorite event. And when I got to the championship, I just, I kind of had a feeling, and I knew that it was the right time, and it was, destined for me to win that day and to have a great performance.
Chris, we talk about an odyssey. This Bruin team overcame so much adversity this year. You had a lot of competitors out at the start of the year, injuries throughout the season, and still you almost took the team title. What a great year for the Bruins.
Yeah, it was quite a ride this year. We had high aspirations coming in, being the defending national champions. On paper, it looked like everything was going our way, and of course, we got hit with a couple injuries early on. Arguably our best athlete in the preseason, Vanessa, we lost her, and then Sam got hurt, and there were plenty of times during the season when we had an opportunity to throw in the towel. Interestingly, though, I think that in the long story, we got better because of our injuries. For Sam, I think she had an opportunity right from the get-go to watch what it is like to be on a Bruin team at the beginning of the season. And so she watched her team getting ready to compete for those first 4 or 5 weeks of season, and I think learned a tremendous amount about what to do, what not to do, and then she was able to carry that in. It was a great ride, and I think one of the things that Miss Val did the entire season was just kept telling the team, we're on track. We're on track.
Yes.
So even in Southern Utah, when we got beat in front of the biggest crowd of people ever amassed in that part of the state, you know, she said we're on track. And the truth of the matter is, what we did is in each competition, even when things didn't go well, we learned something. And that's, we had something to take away from it, and we kept building, and it was the most fun I've personally ever had coming in second, I'll tell you that.
Let's go back to the beginning a little bit. How did both of you get involved in gymnastics? Sam, we'll start with you.
I started gymnastics when I was 2 years old. Both of my parents were collegiate athletes. My dad was a hockey player and a wrestler, and my mom was a gymnast at the University of Illinois. So they put me in the sport when I was little, and I fell in love with it, and 1 day a week turned into 2 days a week, that turned into 3 days a week, that turned into 6 days a week. So I just kind of kept continuing on like that, and I loved the sport ever since.
Well, my family's always been athletic, so we were watching the Olympics, and Nadia Comaneci got a 10 and the Olympic medal and all that in '76, and I was like, oh, that's cool, maybe I'll be a gymnast. And then later on, I had a male role model, which was helpful for me to observe, and Kurt Thomas. He won world championship gold medals in Fort Worth, Texas. In any case, he inspired me. My mom got me his book on gymnastics. I read it like 500 times, the pages fell out. And I just had a lot of role models over the years. Of course, Peter Vidmar, Tim Daggett, Mitch Gaylord went on to win Olympic gold right here in Pauley Pavilion, and that was a huge inspiration for me to make that a goal of mine.
And we should mention that you're both not only great Bruins, but Olympians. You competed in Barcelona, and of course, Samantha, you were part of the 2008 squad that got a silver medal in the Olympics in Beijing. Tell us about the contrast between the international competition and being part of a college team.
Okay, it actually is really different. Neither is better than the other, it's just very different. College is more of a team aspect and team bonding and learning from each other and kind of in it together. Everything is about the team. And in the Olympics, it's kind of more individual. You have longer routines and more to focus on it as an individual, but the team score still counts. So it is a little bit different and in that way.
You came from Indiana out to Westwood. I see the big smile on your face. You like it out here, don't you?
Yes, I love California.
Yeah. Do you plan to keep competing through your entire college career here at UCLA?
Yes, of course. I love UCLA. Each day I wake up here and I say, I can't believe I live here. And I learn something new, I experience something new every day, and I couldn't see myself anywhere else.
The routine that you won, a 9.9 on the beam, and there was a standing full. I don't know what that means. Explain it to me.
A standing full is like a backflip.
It's a big deal.
With a full twist in the air.
And you land on the beam.
Landing on a 4-inch beam. And not many collegiate athletes, I don't know if any collegiate athlete does that, but it's something that I had in my elite routine, and at the Olympics I competed that. And so I really wanted to focus on keeping some of the high-level skills and bringing them to the collegiate level and kind of, raising the standards and raising the bar a little bit.
Coach, for those of us who have trouble walking down the curb and not falling off, trying to balance on it, to think about doing a backflip on the beam with a twist and landing it. As a coach, what goes into the decision about whether to include that in a routine or not in the NCAAs?
Well, we had quite a discussion about it. It wasn't in her routine the entire year. She hadn't competed it for, 3 years.
Yeah.
It had been a long time. And the discussion was basically this, that if she continued with the routine that she had done all year and the entire field of athletes hit, she probably wouldn't win. There wasn't enough. If she took the risk of throwing in the full, that very risky skill, there was more of a chance that she could make a mistake, but the upside was she could win. And so, she made the decision, I want to go for it. I want to win this thing. And I thought what was interesting is that when she warmed up the full, all of a sudden, it looked to me as if all the other competitors went, uh-oh. And I don't know if they did that, but that was my perception, and that's what it felt like. And the worst thing to do as an athlete is to try to play different than what you're used to playing. And I kind of had that sense that now they're trying to beat her instead of perform their best. And I think that played to her advantage. I mean, hitting the whole routine near flawlessly helped too, but Yeah.
Samantha, you were a very established gymnast before you came to college. I know you love LA and California, but other than that, what made you decide on UCLA?
I loved the school, and academics has always been important to me, and I really like how UCLA balanced the academic and the athletic and the social life, because balance has always been a really big part of my life. So coming to a school that also had the same values was important to me, and meeting the coaches and the girls, I knew that I could fit in, and it would be in my new family for 4 years. So I wanted to make sure it was a place that I was accepted and that I liked everyone and that we all kind of got along and were shooting for the same goal. And I think here on the UCLA gymnastics team, we definitely all want the same goal. And from start to finish, we're all working together to make that happen.
Let's talk a little bit about the coaches. Of course, you've got one of your coaches here with you, but let's talk about Ms. Val. She is a unique character and one of the most relentlessly positive people that you'd ever want to meet. Was her leadership a big reason why you came to UCLA?
Of course. I've heard stories about Miss Val for a while, and actually getting to meet her and talk to her and listen to her wisdom, and I picked up on the optimism really early on, which is great for me because I'm also a positive person. So it's good to kind of work with people that are the same way. And each and every day in the gym, if you're feeling sluggish one day, it's good to have a pick me up or someone that's going to be positive and cheering you on and supporting you the whole way and kind of reminding you of your goals. And I knew that she and all the coaches were definitely going to do that for me.
You may be a freshman, but your class definitely has already made an impact. I've heard so much about it just from being in the atmosphere at UCLA. What do you and your freshman class do to get that energy up and keep that strong bond?
We didn't really know each other coming in very well, so I think coming together and not knowing too much about each other, and I remember the first night we all came together, we talked about our goals and the type of people we are, the type of friends we like to have, and we all had one thing in common. We all were very loyal and trustworthy and honest, and we wanted to win a national championship, and we wanted to do well and thrive in school and in athletics. So knowing that we all have the same goals, it's really easy to help each other out and to push each other and to kind of in that competitive nature. So it's really awesome to be hanging around some cool people.
We talk about Ms. Val, we're talking about Valerie Condos-Field, the head coach of UCLA, and of course, Coach, you work with her very closely. Tell us about this freshman group. I mean, this is a group that's going to be around for a while. This sounded like a really fun team this year.
Yeah, they're really, they share those values that she described. That they're hardworking, they want to win, they want to do great in school, they want to have a social life and have that balance. That is true. But beyond that, they couldn't be more different, which I think makes it really interesting. She's very bubbly. Another one's just sort of unusual. Another one's just totally study-minded. But when they come together, they have this amazing way to bring about the best in each of them because they all bring something different. And I don't know if I've seen in such a short amount of time being together, after just 2 months, they were able to be very forthright and honest about what one was doing or wasn't doing and call them out on it and bring them back into the fold. And so it's a very honest friendship that helps them all be better.
In the collegiate athletic world, it's ultimately a different team every year. Athletes come and go, and this year you had a handful of seniors graduate. How will this impact the team for next year?
Well, that was also, there's, in all the years that I've been coaching here, I've been here 9 seasons, that senior class that just graduated was equally as tight-knit as her freshman class. And so it certainly left a hole in the program. We're very fortunate to have this class of young guys here coming in and being able to, I think, pick up where they left off. So I do feel that the foundation of the program is very solid in the values that we've instilled, and really they've instilled and brought about more because it has come from the athletes as well. They just value teamwork, they value winning as a team, and they put themselves behind what the team needs to do. And so I think that's going to be a strong foundation that the newcomers are going to embrace.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Coach. Wonderful to talk to you. And Samantha, you're a freshman. I hope you come back and join us again on Bruin Talk.
Thank you so much.
In just a moment, we're going to meet some team champions from the 2011 spring year. But first, let's pause for this brief public service announcement.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA, champions made here.
Welcome back to Bruin Talk. Before we meet our next guests, let's take a look at this week's Athlete of the Week. This week, we honored Tiffany Lua of the women's golf team as our Student Athlete of the Week. Lua recently led her team to UCLA's 107th National Championship as the tournament's top finisher and with a hole-in-one in round 3 of the NCAA Championships in College Station, Texas. The sophomore is one of 4 players on her team to have recently earned NGCA All-American honors for the 2011 season. Lua finished the 2011 Pac-10 Championships with a tie for individual first place and finished the season with all Pac-10 honors. Congratulations, Tiffany, and the rest of the women's golf team for a championship well earned. If you would like additional information about UCLA athletics, please visit our website at www.uclabruins.com.
And we're going to talk about that 2011 National Championship with 2 of the key members of the Bruins golf team, Gulugian and Stephanie Kono. Welcome to Bruin Talk.
Thank
Stephanie,
you.
we had you on at the start of the season. We talked about the Curtis Cup you played in last summer, and looking forward to this year. It ended in a great way, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it was probably the best way possible. You know, we kind of had a mediocre week at Pac-10s, which was kind of disappointing, and then just to finish off really strong was an amazing feeling.
Really strong is an understatement. And Ani, you had a great finish to the tournament. You finished with 5 pars in a row to shoot an even par 72 on the last day. UCLA won the championship by 4 strokes. Describe the atmosphere.
I don't even know how to describe it. I know coming down the stretch, those last 4 or 5 holes, I know they were key. They're probably some of the toughest holes on the course. But I know for me personally, I was shaking and I could feel it, and I think we all were talking about it afterwards, and we could feel the tension, and we knew we had to do what we had to do to get it done, and it was an awesome feeling afterwards.
You had all kinds of drama. There were weather delays. I mean, just as if playing in the NCAAs isn't enough to play with your head, you had to deal with the elements too. Stephanie, tell us what it was like out there playing in College Station, Texas.
Oh, it was really windy all 4 days, and we knew that the scores weren't going to be super low. We were just trying to stay, you know, just make pars, and when the birdie opportunities presented themselves, we were trying to make the most of them. But other than that, we were just trying to be really patient, and you know, it's not really under our control whether we're out on the golf course for like 11 hours. So we just tried to keep calm and then just take our mind off of it when we could.
Being a freshman, you already have to deal with so much being new to the college life, but on top of that, you had to deal with the additional pressure at NC2As. How did you deal with that? What was going through your head?
Wow. It was a lot to take in, a lot to handle, but for me, I knew I just wanted to give my best to the team and do the best that I possibly could. And I had a rough 2 first days, but we had team meetings, and the fact that everybody believed in each other, and I just needed to believe in myself a little bit more. And doing that, and Kono helped me. She wrote me a little note the last day, and I just looked back at that every time I needed some help and believing in myself. So it really helped.
Stephanie, you've had a great career at UCLA, 3 years, and here you are in the NCAAs. It's tight. I think you had a 7-stroke lead going into the final day, and then Purdue started making a charge.
Right.
Number one, were you aware of how they were doing in the final round? And number 2, you made an incredible par save on 17. You hit it into a bunker. What was going through your head going over that sand shot, trying to get out and keep the tournament hopes alive?
Well, I started out kind of rocky during the last day. I made a triple bogey on 8, and I made a bogey on 9, and all of a sudden I was at 4 over. And I kept seeing the leaderboard, but luckily at the times when I saw it, we were still in the lead or tied. And on 17, I hit it into the bunker, and when I got up to the green, I saw the leaderboard, and we were tied. And I was just thinking, oh my goodness, just take it one shot at a time, and you know, you can hit this bunker shot. You've hit bunker shots like these many times. And so I just tried to stay within myself and just kind of focus on what I had in front of me.
Ani, you've had great success as an individual, but here you are as a team, freshman, and you got a lot riding on your shoulders. Tell us the difference between playing on a team and golf, which is normally an individual sport.
Surprisingly enough, you have a lot more support with your teammates and from your coaches and stuff. So it was a lot of adjusting to do. I wasn't used to having someone out there on the course giving me yardages or being there for me, so that was a little bit different. And just having to do the team meetings and all the different things that go along with being a team, and more focused towards the team rather than towards yourself, and you're focused. It's just different.
Is there any piece of advice that stood out to you guys throughout the season, whether it was from a coach or a fellow teammate? And you can both answer this question. We'll start with you, Stephanie.
You know, we have our sports psychologist with us, and he always gives us really good advice. And it's just, I think what I tried to do for most of the season was really focus on myself. And that was one of my goals from the very beginning, and not to really worry about any other team, you know, or any other player. Just kind of focus on me and on our team, and just kind of stay within our bubble. And I think that really helped.
Yeah, for me, it was just keeping things in perspective and staying patient, and then also the believing in myself. Kono helped me out with that. So.
Stephanie, the college season is over, but you've got big plans, a date in Colorado this summer. Tell us all about that.
Well, I'm playing in the public links first at, that's in Oregon at Bandon Dunes. I'm really excited. That's an amazing golf course, I heard. And then in Colorado, I'll be playing in the US Women's Open, and I'm just really excited for that, and I feel really fortunate to have qualified for it.
Yeah, you had to make it through qualifiers. Tell us about the tension and the pressure of that.
Oh, it's crazy. It's different. I think qualifiers are the hardest thing to get through, and it's just, for us, it's just a one-day qualifier. So really, you just have to have a good day, you know. And like I said, I feel really lucky that I was able to have a good day yesterday at my qualifier, so I made it through.
You said you're going to Bandon Dunes. Have you had much experience playing links golf? It's a different breed, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't had that much experience with it, actually, so I will have to get up there early and see what it's like and play a lot of rounds there.
Ani, you get a chance as a college golfer to play some great courses. What stood out this year for you?
This year, I really enjoyed Stanford's golf course. I really think that was a great course. And I really like Traditions, even though it was a really tough test. It was good.
Coming in as a freshman, like I said, poses so many challenges. How were you able to balance being an athlete and dealing with your schoolwork all in one?
I struggled a little bit, but I was just able to find the balances that I needed to find, and trying to study on the road as much as possible or get stuff done beforehand before we left. But it's a struggle. It's a little tough, not gonna lie.
We talked about the weather in Texas, and not only were the delays during the day, but the third round got suspended because of darkness. Mm-hmm. What was it like knowing you had to come back and finish the third round, then play another round after that?
I know for my group in particular, it was a little frustrating because we only had one hole left, and we were just begging the rules official to let us finish because we didn't want to have to get up at 5 to go out and play one hole and then wait the rest of the day. But it happened, and we just took it as it came and played one hole at a time, stayed patient, and worked out in the best.
Did you start on the tee, or did you start somewhere in the middle of the hole?
We started on 18 tee.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever had a tournament, Stephanie, where you had to mark your ball and come back the next day and start with a putt or start with an approach shot?
I have, and actually during the third round of the tournament, we had a rain delay for about 2 hours probably, and I had a 5-foot bogey putt to come back to. And so that was probably the worst feeling.
Yeah, tell us about the team during the rain delay. Did you go and huddle in a place with all your teammates?
Yeah, we tried to stay together, and then as soon as we sat down to eat some lunch, we got called back out onto the golf course. So for most of the time, we were just kind of just sitting around at a safe house, and then when they took us back to the clubhouse, they told us, okay, we're going back out, so that's what we did.
Did you make the putt?
I did.
Well, there you go.
Luckily, yeah.
You've been here 3 years, and Ani, as a freshman, what have you taken from your college golfing experience that was different or added to your individual golfing experience?
Like Ani said, it's really different playing on a team, and you do have a lot more support, and it's just, I love the feeling of winning as a team. You know, as an individual, you're happy for yourself, and you know, everyone that's around you is happy for you. But as a team, when you win something like the national championship, it's something that the 5 of us and our coaches are going to share forever. So, I mean, I think that's just something that I'll never forget.
Anna, you look at the tradition of UCLA, 107 NCAA team championships, and a lot of people who don't follow the golf program on a daily or weekly basis, they were following you guys stroke for stroke. Did you sense the excitement back in Westwood when you were fighting it out in the championship?
A little bit. I mean, I know we were just all shaking. We could feel it. Everybody could feel it, and we just knew that it was really important and we could get it done right here, and we needed to, so we did.
How about now? How about your summer plans? How are you going to work on your game, or are you going to take some time off from the game?
I'll probably take a little bit of time off since I also played in the U.S. Open qualifier yesterday and just haven't stopped since we got back. But I do plan on playing in some USGAs this summer and just preparing as best as possible for next season.
And Stephanie, tell us about your preparation now as you're going into the public links and the U.S. Open. Tell us about what your schedule will be like leading up to those tournaments.
Well, I'm going to take a couple of days off to just kind of relax and kind of look back at the past 2 weeks and just, you know, really focus on what I need to work on. And I think I have 3 more weeks until the public links, so just work on my short game, and I'm also going to work on some things in my swing to hopefully make it better.
Stephanie, we talked about Ani's favorite courses. You've been here a little bit longer than her. What has been your favorite or favorite courses?
I also really like Stanford's course. It's really nice. And although I don't play well at this course every year, I really like Palos Verdes, and it's probably my biggest challenge. I honestly have never had a very good college round there, so I'm hoping to do well there next year, and I think that will be one of my main goals.
The UCLA Bruins, national champions for 2011, and we're thrilled to talk to both of you about the experience. Best of luck over the summer, and best of luck in the tournaments. The USGA has a great website. You can follow the public links and the U.S. Open stroke by stroke, and we wish you the best of luck, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And we thank you for joining us on UCLA Bruin Talk. We'll be back next time with another great show. Until then, for Naomi Minea, I'm Dave Marcus. So long from Westwood.